Do you feel that tightening in your chest? That cold, sinking sensation that grips your stomach the moment you open your banking app or see an unexpected bill notification light up your phone screen? It is a sensation familiar to millions, a constant, low-level hum of not enough that permeates the modern experience, turning the pursuit of the American dream into a desperate scramble for survival. This is not simple worry about the future. This is a specific frequency of financial anxiety. It is the shadow that follows you through the grocery store, making you hesitate before buying quality food, and the heavy weight that sits on your shoulders, even when you are supposed to be relaxing, whispering that you should be working, hustling, or saving more. This financial anxiety colors every decision you make, filtering the sunlight out of your days and making even your successes taste like ash. You find yourself waking up at 3 a.m, staring at the ceiling, not because of a nightmare, but because of the cold reality of numbers, the crushing weight of student loans, the rising cost of living, or the paralyzing fear of losing the job that barely covers your expenses. You run the calculations over and over in your mind, trying to solve a puzzle that seems designed to keep you trapped in the rat race. You feel like a hamster on a wheel, running faster and faster, only to stay in the exact same place, exhausted and spiritually drained. But what if I told you that this anxiety is not a reaction to your financial reality, but the very cause of it? We have been conditioned by society to treat anxiety as a symptom, a reasonable side effect of a fluctuating economy or a competitive job market. We try to manage it with distractions. We try to outwork it with side hustles, or we try to numb it with entertainment. We treat the external world as the solid reality and our internal state as a ghost that must adjust to it. But in the universe of the mind, as taught by the great 20th century mystic Neville Goddard, there are no accidents and there are no external causes. The world you see is a mirror, not a window. There are only states of consciousness that manifest into form. Your anxiety, my fellow creator, is not a warning signal from the outside world. It is a creative command from your inner world. It is a prayer. It is a negative prayer, constant and incredibly powerful, that you are broadcasting to the universe 24 hours a day, declaring with absolute fervor your faith in scarcity. Every time your heart races at the thought of a mortgage payment, you are screaming, "I am anxious" and "I am in danger" into the ether. You are defining yourself by what you lack, and the universe, which is nothing but your own wonderful human imagination pushed out, has no choice but to agree with you. The universe does not judge your requests. It only fulfills your feelings. When you vibrate with the frequency of "I am lacking," the universe, or your subconscious mind, the faithful servant, accepts this feeling as a direct order. It immediately gets to work to create more situations that justify your anxiety. It will rearrange events, delay payments, and manifest unexpected expenses just to prove you right. You are not reacting to the lack of money. You are aggressively creating the lack of money through your emotional loyalty to fear. You are the architect of the very prison you are trying to escape. This is a difficult truth to accept because it places the responsibility squarely on your shoulders. It is much easier to feel like a victim of circumstances, a victim of the stock market, a victim of your boss, or a victim of the economy. The victim mindset offers a strange comfort because it absolves you of power. But Neville Goddard gave us a key not to fight this anxiety, but to transmute it. He taught that we are not pawns in a game of chance, but operant powers who have simply forgotten how to use the machinery of creation. The solution I am about to reveal is not a stress management technique or a budgeting tip. It is a process of death and rebirth. It is the sacred art of dying to a state of consciousness, the state of the anxious, struggling worker, to be born into a completely new state, the state of freedom, security, and divine wealth. Your fear is not an enemy to be defeated. It is an indicator. It is a dashboard light flashing red, showing you exactly where you are placing your attention and your faith. The energy that fuels your fear of poverty is the exact same energy that can manifest abundance. Energy is neutral. It is your consciousness that gives it direction. You do not need to add anything to yourself to become wealthy. You simply need to redirect the power you already possess. You are currently using your massive creative power to manifest exactly what you do not want. Now you will learn to use it deliberately to design the life of freedom you deserve. In this journey, I will not ask you to simply think positive or repeat empty affirmations while you are trembling with fear inside. Affirmations are useless if your feeling remains anchored in scarcity. As Neville said, feeling is the secret. You cannot lie to the subconscious with words. You can only impress it with feeling. Your anxiety is a powerful feeling, a visceral reality that your body believes in. Your financial freedom must become an even more powerful feeling, a state of being to which you choose to be loyal, regardless of what your senses or your bank account balance tells you. This process requires discipline, not physical effort. It requires the mental fortitude to withdraw your attention from the world of shadows, the bills, the news reports, the scarcity mindset of your peers, and place it on the only true reality, your consciousness, your I am. You must stop worshiping the problem and start worshiping the solution. You are about to learn how to identify the exact moment anxiety rises, and instead of fighting it or spiraling down with it, you will use it as a springboard to vault into the opposite state. Imagine being able to look at a bill and, instead of panic, feeling a deep calm and a genuine gratitude. Not gratitude for the debt, but gratitude for the invisible wealth you know is yours, the wealth that the bill represents only as a passing shadow of your old self. This is the power Neville taught. It is the power to die to the old man, the anxious man, and rise as the new man, the free man. This is not merely an intellectual exercise or a coping mechanism. It is a true alchemical operation. You are about to transform the lead of your paralyzing fear into the gold of your financial security. You are learning that your safety does not derive from a specific number in a bank account or a diversified stock portfolio, but solely from your awareness that you are the source of all wealth. This transformation begins deep inside, in the sanctuary of your imagination. Prepare yourself, because you are about to stop being a slave to your anxiety and start being the master of your reality. You will discover that your fear was nothing more than creative energy that you misdirected, simply waiting for its true master, you, to call it home and give it a new command, the command of prosperity. Neville's solution is as brutal as it is beautiful. You must die. We are not speaking of physical death, of course, but of a radical psychological death. You must voluntarily die to the state of consciousness where anxiety is your constant companion and struggle is your badge of honor. As long as you identify as the man or woman who is afraid of money or who believes that money is hard to get, no amount of overtime or lottery winnings will ever give you security. Think of the people you know who have money but still live in constant terror of losing it. Their external wealth changed, but their internal state remained fixed in poverty. They did not die to their old self. They are simply living out their old anxiety in a larger house, proving that true alchemy requires a funeral for the old identity. Consider the story of a man we shall call Mark. Mark was the epitome of the modern American struggler, consumed by financial anxiety. He owned a small business, pursuing his dream, but he was haunted by the ghost of failure every single day. He checked his revenue dashboard and bank balance obsessively, 10, 20 times a day, looking for reassurance that never came. Every phone call from an unknown number made his stomach drop, fearing it was a creditor or a problem he couldn't afford to fix. Every expense, even necessary business investments or simple groceries, was accompanied by a knot of guilt and fear. His health began to suffer under the cortisol, and his relationships were crumbling because the only thing he could truly pay attention to was the black hole of his financial fear. One evening, exhausted from the grind, he stumbled upon the teachings of Neville Goddard. The phrase that struck him like lightning was simple: states of consciousness are the only reality. Mark understood in that moment that he wasn't fighting the economy, the market, or his competitors. He was fighting his own imagination. He realized he was trapped in the state of anxious Mark, and as long as he remained there, he would only attract more reasons to be anxious. That night, he made a radical decision. He decided to celebrate his own funeral. In the silence of his room, he closed his eyes. He didn't try to force himself to feel rich immediately. First, he tried to die. He vividly imagined anxious Mark, his furrowed brow, his slumped shoulders, his constant agitation and need to hustle out of fear. And then, with a deliberate act of his imagination, he let him go. He let that version of himself fade into nothingness. He felt the immense relief of no longer having to be that person. Then he asked himself the golden question: how would I feel if I were already completely secure? If my business was thriving? If the debts were a distant memory, and if money was just a tool at my service? At first, his mind rebelled. The facts of his bank account screamed for attention, but he persisted. He did not seek the explosive excitement of wealth, but the deep, grounding feeling of security. He sought the calm, the deep breath, the sense of peace that comes from knowing everything is taken care of. He eventually found that feeling. It was subtle, like a distant musical note, but it was there. It was the feeling of trust, the feeling of freedom. He fell asleep lulling himself in that feeling, allowing it to wash over him. That was his rebirth. He was born that night as Secure Mark. The next day, nothing in his external world had changed. The bills were still digital notifications on his screen. But when the anxiety knocked on his door, and it did with force, Mark reacted differently. Instead of spiraling into panic, he recognized the anxiety as a visitor from a foreign country, an echo of his old dead self. He stopped, closed his eyes for a moment, and recalled the feeling of security he had cultivated the night before. He reminded himself, "I am no longer that man. I am Secure Mark." This became his full-time job, not managing his finances, but managing his state of consciousness. Every time anxiety manifested, he identified it. He didn't fight it. He used it as a reminder to die again to the old state and rise in the new one. It was an act of active substitution. He withdrew his attention from the fear and deliberately placed it on the opposite feeling, gratitude for the wealth that was already present in his imagination, even if invisible to his senses. He began to practice what Neville called SATS, state akin to sleep, with religious dedication. Every night, before drifting off, he didn't count his problems or strategize his next hustle. Instead, he relived a scene in his imagination that implied his security. He didn't see himself swimming in cash like a cartoon character. He saw himself signing a check for a family vacation or checking a robust savings balance, feeling the pure pleasure and normality of that act. He felt the gratitude, the relief, the peace of having made it. This active substitution of feeling is the heart of Neville's solution. You are not lying to yourself. You are choosing the reality you wish to inhabit. Your senses show you the past. Your current bank balance is just old news, the result of your previous prayers of fear. Your imagination, when united with the feeling of security, is creating the future. Anxiety is energy that demands an object. For years, the object of your anxiety has been money. Now, you are withdrawing that energy from the object of fear and reinvesting it in the object of your faith, your wish fulfilled. You are taking the raw energy of fear and transforming it into a magnet for prosperity. At the beginning, this practice is an act of blind faith. It is akin to walking on water. Your physical senses will scream that you are sinking, that the bills are real, and that your feeling of security is a dangerous illusion. But you must persist. You must be more loyal to your inner reality than to the flickering shadows of the outside world. Understand this distinction. Anxiety is your loyalty to scarcity. Trust is your loyalty to abundance. You are choosing which master to serve. Mark did not change his external actions immediately. He continued to run his business, but the how changed radically. He began to make decisions not from the fear of losing money, but from the confidence of having it. He spoke to clients not with the desperation of someone who needs a sale to survive, but with the calm authority of someone offering immense value. Slowly, inexorably, his outer world began to reshape itself to reflect his new state of consciousness. However, the changes in Mark's world did not happen overnight. This is the point where many aspiring creators fail. They expect the world to change instantly to validate their new faith. But the external world is a shadow, and shadows have a delay. They have inertia. Your old state of anxiety set a series of events in motion, and these events must run their course. Your job, once you have planted the seed of the new state, the state of freedom, is not to keep digging it up to see if it is growing. Your job is to remain in the new state. Mark's anxiety returned in waves. There were days when a piece of bad news, a rude email, or a difficult conversation would violently pull him back into the old state of fear. He felt like an imposter. How can I feel secure when the evidence of my ruin is right in front of me? He thought. This is the great test of the alchemist. It is the test Neville called the mental diet. Manifestation is not just about what you do for 5 minutes before sleep. It is about what you allow to occupy your mind during the 16 hours you are awake. Mark realized he could no longer afford the luxury of a single anxious thought. He could not entertain mental conversations about catastrophe. Every time his mind wandered toward the worst-case scenario, bankruptcy, foreclosure, public humiliation, he had to, with the discipline of a soldier, bring it back. Bring it back to what? To the feeling of security, to the gratitude for the invisible wealth that was already his. He had to clothe himself in his new state over and over again. He began to use specific visualization exercises throughout the day, not to get money, but to infuse himself with the feeling of security and tranquility. When fear assaulted him during the workday, he would take 30 seconds. He would close his eyes and imagine a simple scene, seeing himself sitting at his desk, not in panic, but with a slight, relaxed smile. He imagined looking at his bank statement, not focusing on the specific numbers, but on the act of looking, and feeling a deep sense of, "It is finished, all is well." He felt the peace. He felt the relief. Then he opened his eyes. This act of withdrawing from the world of shadows and taking refuge in the reality of imagination became his lifeline. He was deliberately impressing his subconscious with the feeling opposite to his anxiety. He was feeding the new state and starving the old one. Anxiety is a habit of the mind. Trust had to become his new habit. Fear, you see, is not just a negative emotion. It is negative faith. It is your unwavering conviction that things will go wrong. It is a prayer for disaster. When you are anxious about money, you are using the divine power of your imagination to create scenarios of loss, and then you react emotionally to those scenarios as if they were real. And because your subconscious accepts your feelings as facts, it projects them into your world as hard reality. You are literally praying for exactly what you fear. Neville's solution is to reverse this prayer. Instead of using your imagination to scare yourself, you use it deliberately to reassure yourself. Instead of rehearsing the feeling of loss, you choose to rehearse the feeling of security. This is the true meaning of dying to self. It is an act of surrender. You abandon your faith in the evidence of your senses and place your faith entirely in the power of your imagination. If this truth resonates deep within your soul, if you feel the thrill of recognition that you have been the creator of your own anxiety, and that, therefore, you possess the power to create your own peace, then take a deep breath. Acknowledge the power flowing through you, and as a symbolic act to declare your death to your old state of fear, like this video. It is not a like for the algorithm, it is a like for your new awareness. Then go down to the comments and declare your new birth. Write, "I am peace and security now." Write it not as a hope, but as a fact. Declare your new state to the world and, crucially, to yourself. This is the definitive turning point. It is the moment you stop being a victim of the economy and become a conscious creator of your own economy. Understand this clearly. Anxiety does not disappear because your bank account fills up. Your bank account fills up because your anxiety disappears. You must make the first move. You must change your state before the circumstances change, because your circumstances are the effect, not the cause. You are the projector. The world is just the screen. For Mark, the external changes began in subtle, natural ways. A client who had ghosted him for months suddenly called to place a significant order. An innovative idea to optimize his business costs came to him out of nowhere during a moment of quiet meditation. A creditor he expected to be aggressive and demanding unexpectedly offered a flexible payment plan without Mark even asking. Each of these events felt like a miracle or a lucky coincidence, but Mark knew the truth. They were the natural, mathematical unfolding of his new state of consciousness. The world was simply rearranging itself to match his new assumption. His anxiety hadn't vanished entirely, but it had lost its dictatorial power over him. It became like background noise in a busy cafe, no longer the conductor of his life's orchestra. He learned to stop identifying with it. He realized he was not his anxiety. He was the I am observing the anxiety, and he deliberately chose to identify with security. These miracles Mark experienced were not divine interventions from an external God. They were the dispassionate mechanics of the universe. Neville Goddard taught the fundamental principle that consciousness is the only reality. The world you perceive with your five senses is not the cause of your life. It is the effect. It is a perfect mirror reflecting with infallible precision everything you accept as true deep within yourself. Your financial anxiety was a constant inner declaration of "I am poor" or "I am scared," and the mirror of the world could do nothing but show you an image of poverty and limitation. The great error of humanity is trying to change the reflection in the mirror without changing the face in front of it. You try to manipulate the outside world, working harder, hustling blindly, fighting with the market, but you are just scrubbing the glass, hoping the image will change. The alchemist knows the only way to change the reflection is to change the object projecting it, yourself. When Mark died to his old anxious self and was born to his new secure self, he changed the object standing before the mirror. The world had to change to reflect him. Your subconscious mind is the servant of this mechanism. It does not reason, it does not judge, and it does not care if you are rich or poor. It simply accepts as true what is impressed upon it through feeling. That is why feeling is the secret. Your anxiety is a powerful feeling that constantly impresses the subconscious with the command, "Bring me more reasons to be anxious." When you, through a deliberate act of imagination, like SATs, replace that feeling with the feeling of security, you are giving your subconscious a new command, "Bring me reasons to be secure." Once the impression is made, once you have felt the reality of your wish fulfilled, your work is done. You must enter what Neville called the Sabbath, the state of mental rest. Anxiety is the opposite of the Sabbath. Anxiety is the compulsion to check if the seed is growing. The Sabbath is the calm, cool trust that what has been planted is inevitable. It is knowing that it is done. Your financial freedom is guaranteed the moment you can dwell in the feeling of freedom without needing external proof. But how do you apply this when the shadows of the world scream the opposite? This requires the mental diet. When a bill arrives that you don't know how to pay and you feel that old surge of panic, that is your moment of truth. The old man reacts with fear, reinforcing the lack. But you, the alchemist, now have a choice. You do not deny the bill. That would be delusion. You see the bill, but you recognize it as a shadow of your past state of consciousness, a remnant of your old thinking. It does not belong to your present. In that moment, instead of falling into fear, you withdraw your attention from the shadow and turn to the only reality, your imagination. Close your eyes. How would you feel now if this bill were already paid? You would feel relief. You would feel gratitude. Find that feeling. Cradle yourself in it for 10 seconds. Then open your eyes. You have just used the energy of fear to fuel an act of faith. You are now at a crossroads. You can continue to live as you always have, a puppet moved by the strings of fear, reacting to shadows you project, hoping the world eventually gives you permission to feel safe. Or you can accept who you really are. You are not your debt. You are not your bank account. You are not your anxiety. You are the alchemist of consciousness. Your anxiety was an invitation to wake up. There is nothing to heal, only to remember. Die to the state of fear and be born into the state of security. Your peace is the magnet. Your inner stability is the channel through which abundance flows. You are the operant power. Your word is now trust. Your word is I am wealth. Stand in this new state. Be faithful to it. Let the old world die. If you are ready to stop being an effect and start being the cause of your life, join this community of conscious creators. Subscribe to Feeling is the Secret and ring the bell to master your reality. Go to the comments and leave your declaration. I am peace and security now. Welcome home, Alchemist.